Hello everyone, my name is Perumal Jagan. I am glad to welcome you all once again to my channel. Today I am going to explain a super interesting topic, wireless. As the time, technology and the networking evolves, it becomes essential to know the functioning of the wireless. As a network engineer, no excuses. You must learn wireless. Come on viewers, let's learn. My dear viewers, what comes to your mind when you hear the word Wi-Fi? Almost all of us are using the smartphones. Of course, we used to connect the wireless networks Wi-Fi with our smartphone. Do you know how does that happen? Assume a place where the Wi-Fi provisioned. It may be anywhere, your house or some public places, restaurants, hotels, whatever, wherever it may be. Just assume this is the wireless area. And when you are using a Wi-Fi, of course, you are not the only one who is using the Wi-Fi in that area. There might be some other users connecting to the same network, or there might be connecting some different networks. When you turn on the Wi-Fi in your device, you will be able to see the wireless SSIDs provisioned and you will be able to connect your appropriate wireless SSID. Actually, some amazing things are happening. To provision these wireless signals, these wireless networks to us, to the end users, some fabulous job is being done at the back end. IEEE defined a standard for the wireless network, the wireless devices. A device must obey this wireless standard, IEEE 802.11. Then only it can connect, it can communicate with the other wireless devices. Unlike the wired connectivity, there is no wire connections between the devices. Even though we will be able to make the communication successfully with the network. This is where the amazing guy comes in. The radio waves, the electromagnetic waves. Actually, one of the radio waves is used to make the communication over the wireless medium. So, the medium is air. But in order to establish the communication using radio waves, we need a special device called access point. Access points are doing a phenomenal job. When I brought this access point in my network, it established the connectivity with my wireless devices. Access point is a kind of device which converts the electrical signal into electromagnetic waves and vice versa. Electromagnetic waves is one of the radio waves. You should aware the term frequency. It's nothing but number of cycles per second. Let me show you the frequency of wave that this access point propagates. You can see the specifications of this access point. It shows the wireless specifications. Actually, it is propagating the waves in 2.4 GHz channel. Two standard frequency ranges are being used for wireless communication. One is 2.4 GHz channel, 2.4 GHz, and the second one is 5 GHz. 1 GHz is equal to 1 crore hertz. That means a wave completes 1 crore cycles in 1 second. The waves which are all having the frequency between 3000 Hz to 300 GHz are called radio waves. Microwaves, TV signals, FM signals, low frequency radio signals, all these signals are falls in this radio frequency range. So all these waves are generally called as radio waves. Similarly, our Wi-Fi waves are also falls in these ranges. So that is why we simply call it as a radio wave. Actually, we are using the electromagnetic waves for Wi-Fi communication. You can notice this value. It is nothing but the channel value. I'll explain. But before that, just get to know if we are saying 2.4 GHz, it is not exactly 2.4 GHz frequency. 2.4002 to 2.4835 GHz. Similarly, 5 GHz it's a range of frequency. It's not a single frequency. You may ask why the frequencies are more important. Since we are using the radio waves, frequency is absolutely important because both the sender, access point, or sometimes a device, both these devices which are communicating must be tuned in the same frequency in order to exchange the message. So the frequency is absolutely important. The term channel is nothing but range of frequencies. For example, in 2.4 gigahertz, this is the whole frequency range, but this frequency range is divided into number of channels. There are 14 channels in 2.4 gigahertz band. You may see the first diagram. This is the channels of 2.4 gigahertz band. Each channel is working in range of frequencies. Among these 14 channels, only channel 1, 6 and 11 are non-overlapping channels. You may see the highlighted channels. These channel frequencies are not overlapped with each other, but remaining frequencies are overlapping with others. So that is why whenever you are configuring, whenever you are using a device with 2.4 gigahertz, you have to put the channel as either 1, 6 or 11 to ensure the signal is not overlapping with other device signal. Signal overlapping causes the interference, the miscommunications. But 5 gigahertz band is eliminated these issues because each range of frequencies are allocated in each channel in 5 gigahertz. So make sure when you are using 2.4 gigahertz, you are using the non-overlapping channels 1, 6 and 11. Now this access point is propagating the radio signals in channel 6. So the frequency of the access point emitted signals are 2.4272 to 2.447. You might have noticed this circle. This is a coverage area. In wireless term, it is called basic service set. Any device which comply with IEEE wireless standard can have a chance to communicate with this network, and this area is called basic service area. The basic service area is always need not to be in circular fashion. Based on the transmitter in this access point, the basic service area may vary. So far we have discussed some fundamental concepts about the waves and the frequencies. Now it is time to relate this wireless network with our usual wired network. Even though the communication medium changes from wired to air medium, still our networking bottom layer concepts are same. I'll tell you. You can relate this access point with our layer 2 device hub because this access point is working like a hub. Actually, what the hub does? Generally, hub is not applying any knowledge on the frames. Simply, it forwards the frame that is received on one port to all the other ports without applying any logic. Access point is almost working like that because the air medium is a shared medium. Once the access point receives some frames, it has to propagate the data, the information over that basic service area. So the devices within the BSA, basic service area, can read those data. Now come to hub. In hub, each interfaces are present in a same collision domain, which means every device connected to hub has to wait for its turn either to transmit or receive the data. Similarly, the devices present over the wireless network has to wait for its time to transfer or receive the data. In simple words, I am telling, let's consider these two smartphones, two devices. Only one device can either send or receive the data at a time. When one particular device is either sending or receiving the data, all the other devices present in this basic service area using the basic service set have to wait for its turn to share the airtime. So the airtime is shared among all the devices. Though it seems to be the biggest drawback, we are not realizing it because the frequency is very high. The frequency is in gigahertz. So it is happening in super fast manner. That is why we are not realizing while we are using so many wireless device in a network. Now it is that standalone network. Only these two devices can communicate with these networks, but these two devices cannot communicate directly. If a device communicate to another device, then it has to transmit the waves to access point. Through the access point only it can communicate with the other devices. Now access points are not only propagating the radio waves, it is also being used to uplink the network, the wireless network to the enterprise network. The access point allow us to uplink our wireless network to our wired network, which is simple. I do have my wired network. I can connect this wired network with my access point. Now we can communicate by using our wireless device with our wired network. As I told you earlier, this area around this access point is called basic service set. So the basic service set has the unique identity. I'll explain it. When you see the wireless signal, the wireless network from the end devices, you will only able to see the name of the Wi-Fi. It is really called SSID. SSID is nothing but service set identifier. It is actually in human readable format. Let me configure the SSID in the access point. By default, the SSID is named as default. Let me give a name to the SSID. There is no authentication so far. I am giving an authentication and I am entering the password. Now I configured the wireless SSID. You can see the wireless connectivity is gone because we disturbed the SSID. We need to configure the SSID. You can see after entering the password and after connecting the SSID, correct SSID, it established the communication. But still there is no IP address. We have to give the IP address for this wireless network. We didn't configure any DHCP, so we can configure it statically. I brought a laptop in this network. If I refresh, I am getting the wireless SSID that is advertised by this access point, like we are getting in our real device. I'm connecting that. Now the laptop is also connected to this network. It is just the basic access point available in this Cisco packet tracer. So only one SSID is possible at a time, but the reality is if you buy an access point, you will be able to configure multiple SSIDs into one access point. So when you see from the laptop or from a device, you will be able to see multiple Wi-Fi names in this list. Earlier, I told that this access point is acting like a hub. So obviously in layer 2, there must be some MAC communication, the communication with hardware address. The SSIDs are understandable by humans, but it is not machine understandable. So when you are connecting a SSID, the access point should understand which SSID you are connecting into. So the access point assigns the radio MAC address for each SSID that configured in the access point. The term is called as BSSID, Basic Service Set Identifier. If you are configuring multiple SSIDs on access point, the access point changes only the last digits in those radio MACs. Now I am using the access switch with the default configuration. So all of the switch ports in default VLAN 1. So the access point is also connected to VLAN 1. But in wireless medium, it is represented as SSID. Nothing but my name. So the access point is doing the fabulous job. It is converting the VLAN tagged frames into BSSID tagged waves. I assign the IP address to my wired network devices. This is the network 10.16.14.0/24. That is the network. I assign the IP address of the same network. Now this wireless device is in that network. I am pinging a device which is in wired network. I am successfully able to ping the device. Also, we are running the web service in this server. Yes, we can connect. So far, we have learned the fundamentals of wireless networks alone. There are a lot of problems when we are using this wireless network because we are simply propagating our wireless data in a open medium, air medium. So anybody who is present within this range can overhear the communication that we are doing. So encrypting the frames and authenticating each user is mandatory, but it is another big concept. Probably we can see it in the next part of this video. So far, we have learned the fundamentals of wireless networks alone. There are a lot of problems when we are using this wireless network because we are simply propagating our wireless data in a open medium, air medium. So anybody who is present within this range can overhear the communication that we are doing. So encrypting the frames and authenticating each user is mandatory, but it is another big concept. Probably we can see it in the next part of this video. There is another drawback with this single access point model. If you are using a small network, you need to cover a small area, then the setup is fine. You can use a single access point as a autonomous standalone access point to provision the Wi-Fi. But assume if you are in a medium or large enterprise, you would need to cover a larger area. In that case, you would need to configure more number of access points. While configuring every access point, you have to replicate the same configuration, the same SSID. Then only the user from any area can able to connect that SSID. But in practical, it becomes tedious. It makes the job very difficult. In that case, you would require a central device, centralized place to manage all those access points. This is where the devices like wireless LAN controllers, Cisco Prime devices are comes in. By using those central devices, you can do all sort of configurations centrally. You no longer need to be configured every detail in every access point. Let me cover the two in my next parts of this video. I believe you learned something new from this video. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing my channel. Hit the bell icon without fail. I'll see you guys next time with another exciting video. Thanks for watching. Bye.